The sky turned dark long before the sun was supposed to set. Heavy clouds rolled over the forest, swallowing the light, and the wind began to whisper through the trees, a warning that something powerful was coming. Deep inside an old oak tree, on a thin branch that swayed with every gust, a tiny mother bird sat quietly on her nest. Beneath her feathers were 3 fragile eggs, warm and safe. Other animals were already running for shelter. Squirrels rushed into hollow trunks. Rabbits disappeared into burrows. Even larger birds flew away to safer trees. The forest knew storms could destroy everything in minutes. Then the wind roared. Branches snapped like twigs. Leaves flew through the air like green rain. Thunder cracked so loudly it shook the ground. The little nest rocked dangerously, tilting from side to side as rain began pouring down in sheets. Water soaked the bark, making the branch slippery. One strong gust could send the nest falling. For a moment, the mother bird looked toward a thicker tree nearby, a place where she could probably survive. Instinct told her to fly. She was small. She was vulnerable. She was scared. But then she looked down at the eggs. Inside each one was a tiny life that depended completely on her. So she stayed. The storm grew worse. Rain hit her feathers like tiny stones. The wind pushed against her wings, trying to tear her away from the nest. She spread her wings wider, covering the eggs, completely pressing her body down to shield them from the cold water. Her muscles trembled from effort. Her claws gripped the branch as hard as they could. Hours passed. Lightning flashed again and again, turning night into brief moments of white light. The mother bird didn't move. She couldn't. If she left even for a second, the eggs could freeze, or fall, or break. Her body grew cold. Her wings ached. But her heart stayed strong. Because love is stronger than fear. Finally, as slowly as it had begun, the storm started to fade. The thunder moved farther away. The rain softened into gentle drops. The wind quieted into a whisper once more. Morning light crept through the trees. The forest was messy. Broken branches everywhere, leaves covering the ground, and some nests completely gone. But on that thin branch of the oak tree, the tiny nest was still there. And inside it, the 3 eggs were safe. The mother bird carefully lifted her wings, exhausted but hopeful. Just then, crack! A tiny sound came from one egg. Then another crack. Within minutes, 3 small beaks poked through the shells, followed by wet, fluffy baby birds chirping their very first sounds. They were alive. They were warm. They were safe, because their mother never gave up. The little bird closed her eyes for a moment, not from weakness, but from relief. Everything she had endured was worth it. Sometimes the strongest heroes aren't the biggest or the loudest. Sometimes they're the ones who stay, who protect, who love, even when the storm feels impossible to survive. And that day in the quiet forest after the storm, 3 tiny lives began, all because one small mother chose courage over fear. If you enjoyed this story, remember, bravery doesn't come from size, it comes from the heart. And love will always make you strong.